you can't say that everything rises and falls on leadership and we're putting all the rising and falling on the weakest link.
We're not putting all of the rising and falling on the weakest link. We are saying that everything rises and falls on leadership.
But you're saying
this is true.
A team is only strong as the weakest link.
The team is only strong as you think about it. Everything operates around the team. You get on team calls, you had this issue. This person don't like this person, so they're not doing their job, and this person's not doing their job because we don't mesh well, and now nothing's getting done. I'm not sending that because she didn't do that, and the team is weak. And until you as the leader make a decision, the decision still has to come to replace it, and that has to come from a leader. But the team right now is weak.
But the team kept growing because from a leadership position, I have to manage the chaos.
You do, but do you want to do that?
But nobody, it's not, here's the thing, nobody's weak. There's an issue that needs to be handled. Nobody's weak.
But until that issue with the team is handled, the team is not operating at maximum performance.
Of course not. Yo, even at our best, when everything's clicking.
I said something. Oh, you scared? It's still Switzerland? Who's winning?
Yeah, that 1 point doesn't make you win.
Who's winning?
My thing is, there's always going to be issues, and there isn't. I don't think a team ever operates at its highest potential. There's always going to be issues, but it's going to be on the leader's shoulders to make sure the issues get handled and taken care of and managed. Listen, coaches, consultants, course creators, the number one way to attract clients is through Facebook and Instagram ads, okay? Here's the thing. You don't have time to go through 100 videos, buy 100 courses, and try to figure this stuff out. My brother, Marquell Russell, put together the paid ad playbook. He gave me permission to give it to you for free, okay? In the paid ad playbook, first off, the paid ad playbook has generated over $500 million in client revenue. And all of these people are getting 50 to 100 leads every single day that actually convert. And it's not a book, it's just a checklist, all right? But it is the paid ad playbook, all right? But go to socialproofgift.com. Hurry up and get it for free. Socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. And there's going to be a bonus video in there that allows you to get a customized strategy for your own personal situation, all right? And that's just a bonus on top of a free gift. But go to socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. All right, let's get into the episode. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Donni has been on time, for a week straight. Well, today, that's good. So we are here talking about entrepreneurship, all things entrepreneurship. Get your notes, get your pen and pad ready because we're going to say something that is impactful and valuable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So this is Donni Wiggins. I'm David Shands. We are both entrepreneurs. We are actively building businesses, not just talking about it, not just podcasting about it, not just teaching it, but we are actively building businesses. So just want to lay that foundation. Make sure you are following the podcast, Social Proof Podcast. Bonus, follow Brain Picker Podcast. Are y'all following Brain Picker Podcast too? Good, that's good. We're going to be ramping that right now.
I'm just
let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. We got to check it. Don't try to do it now.
Fingers
see,
moving fast in the mud.
At you. Right. Golly. So make sure you're following Social Proof Podcast and Brain Picker Podcast. Brain Picker Podcast is doing really, really well. It's absolutely amazing. And we are here. What's the latest, Donni?
Let's see what's the latest. We had, I think we talked about this maybe before. We've had an incredible debut for the Brain Picker Podcast. So that's super dope. We just officially created a new entity and got that registered and all that good stuff. We got that back.
What is it?
The David and Donni Group.
The David and Donni Group. That's our company.
Y'all not even ready.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not even ready for what's about to happen.
All the way up.
That sounds official? It's super official. The David and Donni Group. Let's see. You know what? It's been really like slow motion in terms of new occurrences for me in the last week or two, but it's been a whole lot of consistency.
Good.
A whole lot of consistency. People misunderstand or have this misconception that something has to be happening that's major every single week. And sometimes, you're just going to really be coasting through your business. So right now, I am hiring new salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
So the systems that I use are pretty difficult to learn how to use. And I don't want to go through that process of training new people on that platform again. Like, we could find something more user-friendly. So I am in the process of interviewing different platforms. And the one that I think I'm going to... Systems, when you start building the right business, like the right way, they become really expensive. I have taken a lot of pride in a super low overhead. You need to get your call. I saw you look at it like I'm not important.
Keep
like
going. The camera can't even see me look at you.
But
are you finished?
It. Okay. I have always taken
let's see who it is. Okay, go for
tremendous pride in having a super low overhead cost business. But this year we are spending the money.
Yeah,
I am spending, and when I say spending, I actually mean investing, but it sounds cooler to say spend. We are spending the money. So the systems that I want to integrate in the next maybe 60 days, because it takes that long to do it, is going to cost me $60,000 for all of the systems upgrades and integrations that I need. And I'm really excited about it.
Are you implementing them, or is the 60 grand with somebody that's going to implement them?
Oh yeah, they're going to implement them. They're going to put them together.
It's a company that does it?
So it's the concierge level of that platform. Yes.
I need that.
Well, I don't know that you need that system. We still need
maybe
to
not
talk.
that system, but like so I think it's almost like people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when you start to grow, even the things that worked at the level of where you're at, you have to fix it, or it's not going to be able to sustain the growth. So I know exactly why, not exactly, but I know why it's going to be really, really tough to get to our goal of like building out the community to where we want it, because the systems that we have, they are for where we got to.
Absolutely. And that's an important thing for business owners to know. Like, you're trying to use the free version of MailChimp. You're trying to use your free version of Wix and all of that stuff. If you are stuck in your business, it's probably because the resources and tools that you have access to right now are not sufficient to support growth.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep growing. And when I invested in 2020, the last time I invested majorly in systems was 2020. So we've been 2 years on the same systems. And one of the systems that I have are great. It's powerful, but it's not user friendly. And it worked when I had just a very small team. There were just 2 of us, and only 2 of us needed to learn how to use this program. But now that there are 1, 2, 3, about to be 4 of us, everybody needs to be able to use this system easily. So I just want to go ahead and shift, and I want to be able to see things a little differently. So I'm super excited about that. I'm also super excited because I made the decision. I thought I wanted a really, really big team. I don't. I am going to build this business to $10 million with 6 people, max.
Think so?
I know so.
6 people.
Yep. Because I'm joining the mastermind to teach me how to do that.
Really?
Yes. You should do it. Sam Ovens. So Sam has built he's built an 8-figure company, and he used to boast, he used to hire, and he would boast about having like 50 employees. And then he ended up trimming the fat on his company, sitting back and realizing, like, I don't need this many employees to run my business. And he's still building the same empire with just, I believe he has a team of 6. And that has always been my goal, is to have a very, very, very...
Is that him?
To have a very, very... It's simple. That's who I learned he's the person who I learned how to simplify my website, take all the pretty stuff off, all of the background colors and all that stuff, and just simple, straight to the point. That very simple website made him $16 million.
Golly.
Yeah.
How much is the mastermind?
It is $36,000.
For the year?
Mm-hmm.
You're joining it?
Yeah, absolutely. This week.
And what do they meet? When do they meet and stuff like that? I'm gonna join it too.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna join it too.
Who did I talk to over there? I just did my last call, David Dre.
Okay.
That's who it is. I just did my last call. But I'm gonna pull it up while we're talking.
Yeah. I'm actually this week I'm going out to actually I leave today. I'm going to Genius Network.
Okay.
In Arizona. Yeah. Just high level entrepreneurs, people that don't look like us, which is really, really cool. Remember last time I went out there, this guy showed me how with like a couple hundred clients, he's doing 20 million a year. It's just some things that I don't know, that I'm not even thinking of, that these people are accomplishing. So I'm definitely going to get in that room. So I am on every mastermind that like can add some value. Because what I'm seeing now is, like Myron said, and this is like my favorite quote of the year, I'm doing everything that I can being the person that I am today. So the person that I am today cannot build a community of 10,000 people. I just can't. So I'm actually investing in more people. Like we're doing a systems audit. It's like a systems data audit to figure out what is wrong with our delivery issues with our email and text and things of that nature. So I hired a company to do that. I'm just willing to see. I guess my philosophy is I'm bringing on more people to do less and focus on less and exhausting the smaller group. And maybe I need to talk to Sam Ovens and find out.
Yeah, for sure. Because oftentimes too, we misunderstand like a contractor to come and fix a thing for an employee and they're not, or a team member even and they're not. So the way that I am, and I'm going to keep you guys posted as I'm doing this. I mean, I built my company to over 7 figures with 3 people. So I know I can build it to 10 with 6.
Your profitability is crazy.
It's insane. It's a problem too.
I was talking to, I forgot who I was talking to. He said the average company's profit is like 7%. They make that up?
No.
Profit margin in terms of like the profit margin.
I think it maybe depends on the industry, but I do know that
that didn't sound right.
I do know that 20% is usually a good number in the digital marketing space. However, if you build your business right, so let me retract. I built my business to 7 figures.
I think that's including the actual salary of the...
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I built my business to 7 figures with 2 part-time team members. I had 1 person in sales and I had 1 person on customer support. That is it. And so now this year we've added the 3rd person is my operations manager. So we've added him and he's a full-time person. My support person is now upgraded to full-time.
Cloud operations person?
Mm-hmm. Okay. My customer service role is now full-time. And it's more of a community support role altogether. So that's now full-time. And I'll have 2 part-time salespeople so that my calendar is open all 7 days of the week. And so that's that. And then we'll figure out, obviously I have a bookkeeper who's there on retainer and stuff like that, but that's not necessarily team. That's a service that I am providing. I don't have a CFO and I don't think I need one just yet.
Let me ask you, how many people on your team go get the money?
2.
Including yourself?
Yeah. I mean, because what I do, anytime I do something live, that's setting up to get the money, right? And then I have 1 closer who closes the deal. But I'm hiring an additional salesperson this week.
Got you. Okay. All right, cool. I just wanted to ask that because I think I have Dave runs the ads. But in terms of like aggressively going to get the money, I have a lot of people that support, which is a good thing. But I think the formula was like, somebody was telling me for every 3 support members, there needs to be a salesperson like going to get the money.
I agree. Because why would you have 3 support people and only 1 person bringing in money?
Because so for instance, Joe, he don't go get the money, right? But he's valuable. Like this is needed, right?
So are you talking about the support role or just team members?
Let me tell you about the team members.
Okay.
Right? So Joe produces the podcast. Super valuable. Well, Donald manages the podcast. So he's the one that makes sure it's delivered on these particular days out to the audience, right? Very valuable. Mark edits the videos, right? He produces the content, the clips, very valuable, right? We got Trey who does the thumbnails, very valuable. Jen, who is, I guess, my assistant, not like executive assistant, very valuable. Chris does the events. She like kind of facilitates the events, very valuable. But nobody goes to get the money but me and David, who runs the ads, which like everybody's valuable. It's like you can't have a whole bunch of salespeople either, right? So
yeah. Chris, is her role per event or is it salary regardless of how many events?
Salary for events. Yeah. So if I have an event, she does the decor. She's executing at a high
salaried
level.
Ongoing or she's paid per event?
No, it's salary ongoing. I think I answered that question.
Well, no, you said you said salaried and then you said for events.
No, her salary is to do the events.
I understand.
It's salary. It's not paid per event.
Got you.
She just executes on that level. So I'm thinking, well, I guess we just brought on Chris, right? And he's his objective is to grow the YouTube and Facebook channel. So that's a lot better. I really need somebody going to get sponsors, like knocking on doors and saying, Kashif, he edits the morning meetup videos, right? Very valuable. We got we just brought on Ashley. So she's running the Brain Picker podcast page, morning meetup page, commenting and stuff like that. Very valuable. I think I need somebody else to go get the money. I need somebody else to go get the money. What do you think?
I think you need to really assess who you have in place right now and what everybody is doing and make sure you're leveraging everybody that you have right now.
I think we are. I think we're doing really well. What do you think, Joe? What do you think?
I think we are doing good. I think we can definitely do better.
I can't. What was that? It was like a white. Okay, there we go.
I think we could do better. I was talking to Mark the other day, and I have a great idea for the entire team.
What you got?
So I'm thinking you should go to a leadership development course or class. And I think everyone who has a position in the company, whatever they do, they should go to like some type of course or some type of conference that specifically talks about what they do so they can grow. And what happens with that, it grows the company to become an actual better company. So what you're trying to do, I think we can all accomplish it, but I think there's a missing piece to everyone's puzzle that's going to make this thing actually make sense.
Good.
Yeah.
Here's another challenge with that. I could do that 100%, but everybody on our team does other stuff. So I could like, yo, Joe, go be a producer, right? Like go find a producer course and all that kind of stuff. And Joe will offer those services that I paid to educate him on for other people.
So what you typically do...
Am I right? Am I making this up? No.
That's a possibility, but isn't that a possibility at any job? That's one perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I am also...
No, but he's telling... We know. And I'm not mad at it because I want everybody to go get their money, but...
Wait a minute.
You don't have to figure, so it's not a bad thing.
No, because it's like, this is what you groomed us to do, though.
Wait, Joe wants you to pay the bill for a producer course so he can go produce his own podcast.
No,
it's let's make David think he needs to do it, and it's for him.
I got a really good idea. Let me go. David will pay for me to get better so I can make some money from other people. This is amazing. I like the ingenuity. I like that. But
I will tell you, on every corporate job that I had, I did leverage that training that I got in whatever capacity into being who I am today. But the important thing is more than you need to put together a training, and somebody can come in and put together a developmental training for certain areas in your role. But you and anybody at the executive level in your company should definitely be attending industry relevant
For sure.
conferences and things. And that's also something that we're focused on this year is finding. I'm just looking for all of the education and direction from people who are now doing this at a level of 5 to 10 times better than me.
Yeah, for sure. I say all this stuff. Y'all know I'll be like super transparent about what be going on in our world. Did you defend your point? Did you say what you were going to say? Before I think Donni cut you off.
No, David cut you off, but go ahead.
It was one of y'all. But what I was saying was, it's not to like take it and go. I was just thinking, I just had my corporate hat on. That's what we've done in corporate. We've taken each individual to make them better and to make the company better. Is in order to do that, they need additional education to pretty much make everything better or make themselves better. Now, of course, they already know in the back of their heads, like once they leave, that skill, that training is going with them. But I don't plan on going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think so.
That's not everybody, though.
It's definitely not everybody.
Yeah,
that was real. That was right. It was probably really thinking like, dang, I'd love to go to this class. Oh my gosh, $2,000. You know what?
Let's get tuition reimbursement. Wonder if David has a tuition reimbursement program. If not, let's incorporate that.
Yo, this is so funny. But the good news is, man, you all, I feel like, and you know, people that are watching this, and you know, our lovely audience here. I think the major thing is you have to continue to develop yourself to be able to build it and know how to manage it. So it's not, I'm not for me, I'm not super worried about somebody leaving. Right? I saw this post one time. This was like maybe 10 years ago. And it was a bird sitting on a branch, and it said that the bird doesn't have faith in the branch that it's standing on. The bird's faith is in its ability to fly. Right? So we have all these things that we're hoping is going to happen, or these people that are going to help us and come save us. But once you continue to develop and you can go execute yourself, it's not like we can continue to build our teams out, but I believe the team is only going to be as strong as its leader. And I believe that our team has these weaknesses because their leader has weaknesses. I do have weaknesses, but we still did multiple millions last year. So I don't want y'all to think that it ever gets like perfect. This was intriguing for those that follow sports. The championship team, whoever wins the championship, typically the next year, the team is different. Attention all truckers nationwide, listen. And this includes tractor trailers, dump trucks, hotshot operators. If you've been searching for agents to give you the best quotes in town, look no further. Community Insurance Group is here for you, okay? They quote only with A-rated carriers nationwide. So if you're ready to get a quote for your trucking business, regardless whether you have one truck, two trucks, a fleet of trucks, just call 877-345-9991. Okay, that's 877-345-9991. That kind of sounds like a song. Comminsgroup.com. COMMINSGROUP.com. They're waiting for your call. All right, let's get it. Like you win the Super Bowl, you win the finals. Every year, they never keep the team the same.
That is interesting.
You ever notice that? The question is why. In my mind, I'm thinking, yo, won't you just do it again? Like, why? You got the same squad. Everybody's happy about their ring, but there are trades every single year to the championship team. Why is that? Anybody know why? I don't know. I'm asking for it. Let's go to the mic. Go to the mic.
Yeah, I'll say circumstances change. There you got.
No, you go.
Okay. Yeah, I say circumstances change from year to year. So sometimes you have to make adjustments. Some of those adjustments may be because maybe a personnel issue, it might be a coaching issue, it might be what's going on around you that you have to make adjustments.
Anybody else? Go for it. This was very interesting. Like this a couple years ago, I noticed that. I'm like, yo, that is strange. Why don't they just keep the same team? Go for it.
Hi, everyone. Well, my reason for saying it would be strategy because they probably played a team that may have played them very well. And they saw that their other team saw their weakness. So they had to make their changes to it. You know, this man is playing power forward. Oh, man, our guy gave him big trouble. So therefore, even though we won a championship, we need to replace that power forward right here. You know, we need a more dominant guy.
But
because
why?
they figure out.
But why wouldn't we spend more time and resources just improving on the person who already understands the system? Because when somebody else comes in, they gotta like learn the system and gel again.
But just like the guy said, have to make adjustments. It may be just personnel issue. It may be an issue with that particular player itself. So they don't, they play on to reach this cap right here. So it's time to get rid of him. It's no type of development. Some players is problematic to teams. So therefore, you can bring that team down and try to like send him on to this trainer right here to try to help improve him.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it's probably a combination of things. One, it could be, like he was saying, do they now know the best of us? And that makes us beatable. If we keep this same team, we know all their best plays, we know all their weaknesses. Let's try again next year. Then two, I think after you win a championship, you become more valuable as a player and you want more money. So they, like any other company, have budget cuts or budget caps, and they have to move personnel around just to handle those things. But I think it's more strategy than anything else. Keep the star and get rid of some of the supporting important players because they know your weaknesses. Yeah. You said something. You said that you believe that your team is only that a team is only as strong as its leader. I believe a team is only as strong as its weakest link.
Okay.
So think about it. Let's keep using the game of basketball. Let's say, how many players go out at one time? 7?
What? Just use another example.
5?
You're wilding already.
How many players are on the court at one time?
Are you
5.
serious?
I said 5.
7?
I said 5, and then you looked at me like I was crazy.
Starting 5,
Starting 5. Okay. So let's say you've got your 5 players out on the field, and we're not even using NBA. We're using Little League basketball. Is that a thing?
What are you talking about? Use another example. Let's just talk about something else.
Listen.
This is crazy.
It's a court.
Little League basketball.
It's what?
It's a court, not a field.
What?
Did I say field?
Yes.
Okay, anyway, I was a cheerleader. I know sports.
Use a cheerleading example.
Anyway, so let's say you got your 5 players out on the court, and these are younger age players, high school. Now, we've got our 5 players out, and we've got 4 people who are beasts. Mm-hmm. But our person who throws, our shooter.
Yo, this is wild.
Okay, wait.
You're ruining the whole point.
Donnie's playing foosball.
Listen, I'm playing foosball. So your shooter, though, he's the best that you have, but every time you pass him the ball, there's only a 50-50 chance that he's actually going to make the basket.
That's about right.
Right? There's only a 50-50 chance. Okay.
50% is a good
Well, then there's a 20% chance that he's going to make the basket.
Where you get her from?
He's going to make the basket. Coach is going to sit your butt down and try to bring in a stronger player. Mm-hmm. But if he only has weak links to choose from, he's going to choose the strongest of the weak link and play and understand that, okay, as a team, our shooter's going to only make 20%. That's as much as you can do. It's not, the coach isn't bad. The coach is a great leader. He may have just not found his strong teammates, his strong starting 5, right? So it takes nothing. If Jordan was somebody's coach, a team's coach, but he got 5 starting players, 4 of which are great, 1 is trash. Until he replaces the trash performer, the team is only as strong as the weakest link.
I actually forgot the point where we were going.
I can't. I said that your team is not only as strong as your leader, it's as strong as your weakest link.
Here's why I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Here's why I don't agree with that. Because you take a team of really talented people and they don't win a championship, but then you bring in somebody like Phil Jackson, right? And Phil is a great leader. And he knows how to get rings with whatever team he has, right?
Does he though?
Absolutely. How many rings did Jordan get without Phil? None. How many rings did Kobe get without Phil? None. So Phil gets 6 rings for the Bulls, leaves the Bulls, then goes to the Lakers, and then they start getting rings.
But does the team stay the same?
What do you mean?
Are the players the same?
I mean, the players are always going to change. You have your main stars.
Phil is going to attract the higher level players, right? Period. Phil is going to get the higher level players.
Well, I don't know. I think Phil creates high level players with whatever he has.
Did he create them or did he recruit them?
Well, let's see. If you take it, so Kobe's always been Kobe. Shaq's always been Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets with Phil Jackson, who knows how to pull the most out of somebody, and now they become that.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan always was Jordan. He had the talent. It wasn't like, oh, well, Phil's here now. Let me just start practicing more.
Mm-hmm.
Phil created that. Yes. Chief. Do you know anything about sports, first off?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. Because that was crazy.
I mean, we can go back to the Bulls. After Pat Riley, did Phil Jackson, the team changing, was it different players or did he just better utilize players? Because I would see Jordan and Pippen always there pretty much. As far as B.J. Armstrong and all, I think they were better utilized position-wise. I don't know that the players changed. Maybe there were some trades, but
now, there were definitely trades.
Yeah, but
My point is,
I just think they were better. The teams were better utilized. Jordan stayed in this position, Pippen stayed in this position. And everybody else was just maybe rearranging, just utilized to their strength.
To their strength.
Yeah, so,
because you are only as strong as your weakest link.
No, I believe. So this one person in the hands of another coach is called a weak link.
Mm-hmm.
They get on the Bulls with Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson makes B.J. Armstrong look like a star. Got Steve Kerr looking like a star.
But is it the player that improved? It doesn't matter. So I like that, right? That's true. But the player had to improve. Phil didn't just say, come on, and you're a star. The player had to improve his game.
But I believe, this is just my belief. My belief is that a great leader can pull things out of someone that can't, that they're not going to be, they have the talent and the ability.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody, let's just say Joe for instance, because, that's who he always bounces
And
off.
look at Joe. What's he doing right now?
So let me ask you this. If Joe wasn't on my team and Joe was on your team, could you pull some more greatness out of Joe?
I'd be fired working for Donni.
Oh, 100%.
That is not true.
So my point is, and I don't think that'd be true, but you may believe, I can pull more out of somebody.
Yes.
You being the leader.
So I could pull more greatness out of Joe. However, that would mean that Joe is no longer, I'm pulling the greatness out of him because I need a strong person on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had a weak salesperson on my team right now, my company would suffer.
Here's perfect example. I don't know how to use VAs. I just don't. I can't effectively explain exactly what I want.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it is. With the language barrier, I can't explain exactly what I want. But there are other people who can take that same VA and create them as one of the most valuable people on the team.
I agree.
It's the same person, same skill set, same ability. But when you have a leader that can, I don't think I'm like a bad leader, right, Joe?
Ooh.
You're about to be fired.
He about to be fired by David. Joe,
I don't think I'm a bad leader.
He doesn't pay unemployment either.
So, and let me tell you about that too. So,
but you're not playing the same. That person isn't playing the same game.
What you mean?
The VA is going to the game where they can shine, right? Where they can shine. But on your team, they're a weak link. So you're getting up every day and you're like, oh, this is not working out. This department is suffering and blah, 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 because I got this person that I can't communicate. They're a weak link for me. Whereas they go to my company or somebody else's company and the playing ground has been set and is level and I allow them to showcase their skill set. I do communicate with them well. their performance for me is not weak.
Exactly. That's the point I'm saying.
Right. But as a leader, it's not about you, it's about them. It's about the player getting on the right team. And then the leader will lead flawlessly when you have the right team. But if you don't have a good team, until you put that good team together, now as a leader, it's your determination, it's your responsibility to say, this team is all bad. I have to replace my weak link, or I have to train and develop in my weak link. And that's a leadership's role.
But there are also been really stacked teams where everybody's super talented and they just don't win.
Yeah, but there are also companies who are being ran by teams, period. And the CEO is terrible. And
I don't believe that they're terrible. Here's the thing. A CEO is a good CEO if the company is performing well.
Really?
Yeah.
Even the ones
Absolutely.
that steal from the company?
They're just not an integral person. But
yeah, they're
if they're
trash.
stealing from the company, then it's a weak company.
CEO isn't necessarily the owner of the company, and it could potentially make that a weak company, yes, which is why it's usually found out in an audit, like, yo, we are hemorrhaging money.
That's what I'm saying. A good
So your
leader,
CEO is your weakest link in that point.
which means the business is failing. But when you find, this is what I think it was John Maxwell, I want to say, so it was like, again, years ago. They said when they go in and acquire a company, the first thing they do is fire the CEO. The very first, they said when they acquire a business, I don't think it was John, it was somebody, maybe he was like coaching a leader or something. I don't know why I'm thinking John, but he said, whoever was talking, they said when they go into a business, they acquire companies, the first thing they do is fire the CEO. Not talk to the CEO, not find out what's going on with the CEO. The first thing they do is fire the CEO, because they're saying, if we have to come in and support this company, the problem is the CEO, period, not the people. We're not finding the problem with the people.
Absolutely.
We fire the CEO because everything rises and falls on leadership.
Everything rises and falls on leadership is a fact.
Yes.
But you are only as strong as your weakest link, which is why everything has to rise and fall on leadership.
Exactly. So if the leader is the weakest link.
Me as a founder and CEO.
Hold on real quick. Who's winning? Who's winning? Because y'all here to judge.
We're not though.
No, we're definitely not. She's saying the team is only strong as the weakest link. I'm saying the team is only strong as the leader. Now, if the leader happens to be the weakest link, then yes. But you can't have an amazing leader with
you can have an amazing leader. Martin Luther King could have been leading all of the movements, and if things went down and we ain't ready to fight, and he's on that line by himself as an amazing leader, and his team tenses up in the moment.
But they didn't, which makes him an amazing leader.
He is an amazing leader, but what I'm saying is they didn't because they did what they were supposed to do.
Only because he put something inside of the people that's following him.
Listen.
Am I tripping?
You are only as strong as your weakest link. For example, in a relationship.
Yes.
In a marriage, two people together.
This is totally different.
If one of the spouses are the weaker link, they refuse personal development, they are not emotionally intelligent, no matter how, if that was your wife, no matter how strong of a leader you were, this marriage is going to fail because our relationship is only as solid as the person who is doing the least to keep it.
You're reaching.
No, I'm not.
That is absolutely totally different. That is extremely different.
It's leadership.
No, it's not. You don't lead a person in a marriage. There's no leader in a marriage. There's two people who are deciding whether they want to come together or not. I can't control whether...
So you're not leading things in your household?
Absolutely not.
I like that, actually.
No, I'm not.
That's not the general consensus.
Huh?
That's not the general consensus.
I will lead... So I'll lead in finances, right? Let's say. But she's leading in raising the children, I would say.
It's a partnership.
She's leading in...
Okay, it's a partnership. But what if you were leading in the finances and every single day you came home, the baby wasn't changed, the baby wasn't clean, there's no food, the baby crying and all of this stuff. Is that going to be a functionally happy relationship?
We're going so sideways because this is so totally different. Go for it.
My question is, Miss Donni, so is your thing
Miss
when you say
Dottie, you
weakest
that old.
when you say weakest link?
First of all, I don't even want to answer your question
Miss Donnie.
because I have told you. Where's your dad? I don't want to disrespect you. First of all.
Look at that. Go for
Okay,
it.
I have suggested time and time again that we eliminate the miss.
Okay, let's just start it. Let's start it again.
Y'all are my elders and
Whole
thing. No, not like.
You know what's crazy? He's never called me Mr. David though. So
I
he's
always
talking.
call you Mr.
You've
David.
never called me Mr. David. You're like, hey,
I was
Dave.
confused when Trevion, he could David. I was like, why are you saying David? Where's the Mister? Where's the
Thank you.
Go for it. I appreciate
you.
the respect. Yeah, respect your elders, bro. Go ahead.
Thank you. So my question is, when you say weakest link, are you referring to their skill level or their willingness to learn to be better?
Well, both.
But there's a fine line, because if there's a great leader and bad players, but they're willing to learn, they're going to be successful. But if there's a good leader and there's mid players that are they're not terrible, but they're mid players and they're not willing to learn, they're going to fail.
But here's the thing.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. I believe their willingness to learn is going to be based on the teacher.
Yes.
Remember, Lean On Me? Right? He comes in and he's putting in certain systems. The same kids that smoke crack. Remember? He's on the roof. You smoke crack, don't you? He took the same kids and he created something in the school. Now, he shouldn't have put the shades on the doors and all that kind of stuff, but you get what I'm saying. I think there are some people that are, let's say, at their job and they're unwilling to learn. Well, it's the leader's job to let that person go.
Yeah.
Or it's that leader's job to inspire them to want to learn and want to develop and want to grow. Make sense? So the weakest,
until they're developed, it's the weakness in your business.
Not necessarily. So
Yes,
for
it
instance,
is.
there are times where I hire somebody for something. And in that role, I don't feel that they're best fit for that role. So I take that person and put them in another role.
Yeah.
And they're shining in that role. I think from a leadership standpoint, I did good right there. Right? There are some other people that I'm going to shift their role and bring in other people like this, like the things that I see, because I know to get to where we want to go. I think we won a championship in terms of like what we were able to accomplish over the last 2 years or so. But for us to go to another level, we've got to, we have to replace some people. And that's from my level of seeing what's missing. So I'm bringing in a data analyst to go through our systems and not data analysts, but they're like a systems analyst, go through deliverability issues with emails and texts and the flow and customer journey, all that kind of stuff. And we're going into another platform where we're housing our community, right? So we got to switch things up. But that is on me to make sure I can look at somebody and say, yo, that is going to be the position for you. Listen, as you know, I am in Nehemiah Davis's inner circle. I talk about him all the time. Last year, I had the biggest year financially based on his teachings. Actually, we just ran a play. He helped me make $70,000 in one day. Listen, what he's doing right now is an upcoming digital masterclass teaching exactly what he taught me to have a 7-figure year. I'm telling you, I owe a lot of my success to this man because he just understands marketing in a whole nother way. But what he's doing is offering the things that he taught me to you for free. He's doing a digital masterclass that he's given to you for free at general admission, 50% off the VIP. I suggest VIP. Because you get a lot more time with him and he really pours into the VIP. But if you just want to go to the class and you want to be a part of it, general admission free. A lot of y'all been following him, waiting for him to open something up. He's giving it exclusively to the podcast listeners, 50% off. So don't tell nobody, okay? So listen, go to spmasterclass.com, free general admission, 50% off VIP. Do VIP though, okay? spmasterclass.com. Go get it. Let's have a big year this year, right? So Joe, he was doing the ship out of apparel, and he's still doing ship out of apparel and producing the podcast. And what I said,
where are our shirts?
We need to find somebody to ship.
Out of
Let me
stock.
finish my point. So I told Joe, I'm going to bring somebody in to do that part of it because it's not the best use of his time.
Okay.
That's just me making a leadership call. I don't want Joe to have to focus on that stuff because he's not good at it.
He was a weak link in that area.
Right.
And so that process was only as strong as Joe was running it.
No. Or I could have saw earlier.
Right.
Joe is overextended. He needs to be taken off of that. Nobody's. No,
all their faces.
Nobody.
Right?
Who's
right?
winning? Who's winning? Who's winning?
First of all,
winning? Yo, like, give me. Before you say anything, who's winning?
Oh, yeah.
Who's winning? I'm up.
Who's
yes?
winning? I'm sorry, Miss Donnie, but David's winning.
I'm up, Miss Donnie.
I'm so sorry.
Come on, man.
Who's winning?
Who's winning?
I mean, Rick Ross even said it. Like, he even...
Yo, you can't say that everything rises and falls on leadership and we're putting all the rising and falling on the weakest link.
We're not putting all of the rising and falling on the weakest link. We are saying that everything rises and falls on leadership.
But you're saying
this is true.
A team is only as strong as the weakest link.
The team is as only strong as you think about it. Everything operates around the team. You get on team calls, you had this issue. This person don't like this person, so they're not doing their job, and this person's not doing their job because we don't mesh well, and now nothing's getting done. I'm not sending that because she didn't do that, and the team is weak. And until you as the leader make a decision, the decision still has to come to replace it, and that has to come from a leader. But the team right now is weak.
But the team kept growing because from a leadership position, I have to manage the chaos.
You do, but do you want to do that?
But nobody, here's the thing, nobody's weak. There's an issue that needs to be handled. Nobody's weak.
But until that issue with the team is handled, the team is not operating at maximum performance.
Of course not. Yo, even at our best, when everything's clicking.
I said something. Oh, you scared? It's still Switzerland? Who's winning?
Yeah, that 1 point doesn't make you win.
Who's winning?
My thing is, there's always going to be issues, and there isn't. I don't think a team ever operates at its highest potential. There's always going to be issues, but it's going to be on the leader's shoulders to make sure the issues get handled and taken care of and managed. There's always going to be issues.
That's true.
It's on the leader to manage the issues. That's why we're restructuring and putting people, okay, you focus on this right here.
That's true.
And you bring in another person to assist, right? So it's not about a team is not only, if my team was only as strong as the weakest link, that means that it can only grow based on that person's ability. And that's not how my company grew last year. It was because I have a vision, I'm putting the vision out there, and I'm trying to understand the people in the business, every person, what they're going through, what they're thinking. Are they stressed out? This is the kind of things that I'm thinking of. And again, I'm not the best leader, which is why we did the numbers that we did this year. But my objective, even in going to these masterminds, is to see what it looks like to be a leader of a 8-figure business. I want to become that person. Marcus Lemonis, y'all, what's the show? The Prophet. Fire.
I haven't
right?
seen it yet.
What? Oh my gosh, it's lit. So Marcus Lemonis will go into a company and it's a failing business.
Okay.
He'll come in, same people now, same product. He'll come in, see different processes, see things that need to be included, right? So he comes in using the same people, the business grows. Even with the same proposed weak links.
He has actually gone in, because I did see a couple of the episodes, and he has actually gone in.
You just said you didn't see it.
No, I couldn't remember. And also, there's several shows that's been like this, but they typically will go in and they actually interview and speak to every team member where they are in their role.
Yes.
And if you're not with what needs to happen according to this plan, you have to go
Very
because
rarely does he fire people.
You're a weak link.
Very rarely does he fire people.
Has it happened?
But here's the thing. Yes, but here's the thing. The leader of the company didn't know that person needed to be fired. The leader
always know they need to be fired.
The leader of the company did not do it, which means the business is failing because the leader doesn't know how to lead and manage these issues.
Okay, let's disagree. Let's agree to disagree here. Can we do that?
Just
Can we?
Right now. Can see?
Okay.
All right. So I'm kind of confused. Are you guys comparing one to another? Or are you saying, or Donni, are you saying that one is better than the other? Like, because, okay, so if he's saying that the team is only good as its leader, and you're saying that it's only as good as the bottom person, are you saying, yes, that's true, but also this is true? Or are you saying, no, this is better than the other?
Well, it's not one being better than the other. It's just one more I think it's one, they both have to happen. You have to have a strong leader and you have to have a strong team to maximize results. But even with the strongest leader, if you only have access to weak team members, unless you're going to perform the work yourself, you have a weak team and you can only go as far as what their gifts allow them to bring to the table or their talents allow them to bring to the table. So are you saying
the whole team or the weakest link?
The weakest link plays a part in the whole team.
Yeah, but there's a difference from the weakest link and the whole team being weak.
That's a fact.
Yeah, there is a difference, right? However, depending on the role that weakest link is in, it can affect the whole team and make the whole team performance weak.
This is true.
Do you believe that a team with that has a better leader and a weak link will perform better than a team that is only strong as its weakest link if the person that's leading is better than the other team?
Say that one more time.
So if a person has a team, his leader, good. And the person at the bottom
right
has
there.
a
Look
weakest.
at that right there.
You Google, Googles.
I literally Googled, you're only as strong as.
And then somebody's article pulled up, which could have SEO'd it, and they say it's only as good as your weakest link. What?
Look at this.
Yo, you're losing right now. You
J.K. Rowling.
You are reaching right now.
J.K. Rowling.
So bad.
J.K. Rowling. We are only as strong as we are united, weak as we are divided. You're only as strong as those around you. Don't do me. Kelly Rowland, you're only as strong as your weakest member.
Kelly Rowland is your reference of like that?
Is she,
you're validated?
Does she not run a successful empire?
You're validated.
Does she not run a successful empire?
As your business coach?
All I'm saying is, when I Googled the phrase, and you do it. When I Googled the phrase, you're only as strong as. All of these people who have built billion-dollar companies and multi-million-dollar who circle around us, what do you see? You're only as strong as what?
Yeah, that's like being in a courtroom.
What do you see?
That's like being in a courtroom and
you're
saying,
only as strong
Judge,
as.
Google says it. And it's like, what?
But I think that's a trending saying though. So what's
Google
populates trend.
It's not just the strong. What David is saying is also very popular. Most people believe that you're only as strong as your leader. In most cases, your leader isn't doing the work. Your team is. You're not doing the work. Your team is. Your team is only performing at the level of your weakest link. Period.
I don't believe it.
Oh no.
I don't believe it.
Period. What did it say? I'm sorry. What are your results?
There's no way we could be using Google to prove your point. This is crazy to me. Go, you got a mic, because we got to see the mic. Go ahead. You can go to the mic. Yeah, but this is wild. The only evidence is what Kelly Rowland says.
That is not true. Why do you want to focus on Kelly Rowland? I named so many other people, but he wants to focus on Destiny's Child.
5 Kelly Rowland songs.
I can name.
This is your point of reference?
First of all,
this is your evidence?
I'm just looking at the rest of this. There are many.
You're on the
you
first
just don't want to be.
Oh my gosh. Yo,
you don't want to be wrong. You just don't want to be wrong.
Go ahead, man. This is wild.
Your weakest link will expose you.
So Rick Ross, he mentioned this. I think
now we can talk about Rick Ross, but we can't talk about Kelly Rowland.
Way more hits than Kelly. What?
He said, I think he mentioned it at the mastermind that y'all were at. I don't know if it was on the mastermind or he said on the podcast, whatever it was, but I was just listening to him and he said, because someone asked him about assets and liabilities in terms of people. And he said, I don't really believe in liabilities. I believe that, he said he brought somebody on his team that wasn't making no money with somebody else, and then he made like $2 million with him.
Facts.
So he was a weak link on the wrong team.
Isn't
so
that
even
just
though it was
life?
a strong team, great team, he said the guy was great, but when he came with me, he was making some money. You know, the voice that he made, but
that's
he brought somebody on.
applicable in every area of life. We're not talking about a person's evolution through life. We are talking about their performance on my team.
Yes.
We're talking about their performance on your team. I have had somebody work for me that was a total weak link. I see her shining now with somebody else.
So that's
which means
no, she was a weak link in my area,
Yes.
but she went somewhere else.
So she's
and
not.
she got educated.
So she's not a weak link. She didn't have the leader to pull her ability out of her.
That could also be true, but she was still a weak link.
Because
But that's still the only
you did not know how to utilize the talent. That's the same thing with like VAs. I don't know how to utilize the talent. It doesn't mean that the person's a weak link. It means
They're
in
not
this system.
As a person, we're not calling them a weak link. Their contribution to this team is a weak link.
But like the one thing that, because I'm very like systematic in where I think of things, so they're the independent variable. They remain the same in every situation. So if they're in this company A, they're still them. If they're company B, they're still them. So the one thing that's changing is the leader. So it's still the same player, but different leader in different
everything
cases.
changes.
So
Thank you.
they're bad here.
Let's get a round of applause.
Let's get action a round of applause. However, everything changes, right? Everything changes. You don't just pick up exactly as you are and who you are and go into a new environment and you're the same person. What has that person experienced from this role to that role? What level of education, what personal development, what mentorship and coaching did they get? How did they become developed so that now they can handle it? Is it maturity? Is it age? Were they going through a bad relationship and they're out of that relationship? That is absolutely untrue. You do not automatically just go somewhere else and shine because you have a better leader. That would actually counter effect why we have so many terrible employees if that were the case in corporate America.
I won. At the end of the day, I won. So
he always
anything else?
You did not win, but
y'all, can you please put it in the comments, please? Like
who won? Who won? Did Donni win? Did David win? Or are you neutral? I want to hear you guys one by one.
It's just out crazy. This is why you have all the friends. Yeah, we already know who's the clear clear winner.
All for David winning.
Donni,
raise your hand.
Stop.
Okay, we got two. All for Donni winning. Raise your hand.
They're not gonna raise their hand.
All for Donni winning.
You only have
raise
one
your
person
hand.
that's willing to just try to balance it out. But even in his heart, he knows you're talking crazy.
All for I'm scared to vote. Raise your hand.
The same person that's
I can't believe you. I cannot believe you. You were over here sending me signals and everything. He was like, you just made a point there.
The same person that thinks 7 people go out to play basketball on a field.
How many go out on the football field?
On a field.
How many start on the football field? It's 7, right? So I said 7 on the field.
It's gotta be more than 7. It's more than 7. It's like 12 people. You guys are crazy.
Okay, I was taking his advice.
I don't look at you.
Anyway,
2 peas in a pod right now. This
bottom
is crazy.
line
7
is
people.
Be an amazing leader and be an amazing contributor to a team. Okay, because they both need each other.
Yes,
they both need each other.
Yes.
And one leadership nugget that I want to share. I don't believe in just firing people because they're doing a good job. Now, if they're doing a gross if they're being irresponsible.
You say you don't believe in firing people because they're doing a good job or a bad job?
A bad job, I'm sorry. I don't believe in firing people just because they're doing a bad job. If they are grossly misrepresenting your company and are irresponsible, yes, get rid of them. But if they have not, you have to ask yourself as a leader, I believe in correction and redirection. So you have to ask yourself as a leader, did I set them up for success in their role? Did I provide them with the proper tools, resources, and training? Or did I just come in and say, this is what I need done, go do it, right? So don't be out there assessing your team right now saying, I got some weak links. Did you train that person? Did you provide them access to training? If you don't know how to train them, did you provide a course for them to maybe go through? You are responsible as a leader to set your team up for success. Which
means?
No.
You have to be a better leader in managing talent. So, all right. So that was fun.
That was actually very fun.
So yes, are we finished here?
I think we're finished here.
Yeah, I think we're finished here.
What'd you learn from this episode? What'd you learn from this episode?
Let's get some takeaways. Let me get like 3 takeaways, please. Let me get a couple takeaways to the mic.
Ahead. Don't argue with Donni.
Well, definitely. I do think both are a factor, and you definitely need to be able to be the correct type of leader to identify what this weak link in your team is, so you can actually have a better end result. So I do think that you definitely have to have great leadership, but you also have to identify what that weak link, who that weak link is, or what that weak link is in your process, so you actually can correct the issue. You can have a better team than you had before. So
cool. One for me.
Appreciate that mixture of both.
Who
Anybody else?
Come on.
What'd you learn? What'd you learn?
Andrea, let me get some new. Who didn't
Ladies
speak yet?
are just really
Come on, ladies.
not representing themselves
Come
today.
on,
What is going on?
Let me represent real quick.
Okay.
So I learned what Donni said in the beginning about like the resources and the tools that you may have access to in business right now may not be sufficient for your growth. And that's something that I'm kind of like realizing right now. And then I was wondering, I had a question for y'all. Why didn't you guys call it the Donni and David group? That kind of sounds better.
You know, I could always change the paperwork. I did think it. Let me just say this. I did think that the Donni and David group sounded better.
You said Dave and Donni sounded better.
I did not. You said that. And I was trying to be that the day that we decided on this name, I was being really intentional about my feminine energy, and I just decided that it was a battle unworth fighting.
Does that sound like worse?
The Donni and David group. No?
The Donni and David group sounds
David
amazing.
and Donni sounds a little, I don't know. It seems like it flows.
Because you're so used to saying David and Donni.
David and Donni sounds better.
Donni and okay, first of all, we already
Is it
know.
like a male, female thing? Like, you know, like
we can't listen to the male chauvinists.
It's just
your men are superior all day.
No, it wasn't. It just sounds. It just flows. But go ahead.
David and Donni sounds better than Donni and David.
For the ladies.
I just want to represent for the ladies. Okay. Oh yeah, because you clearly saw Donni
Give
get
me
beat
the
up
branding reason that sounds better.
No, she just said she did it because she wanted to represent because she see you get beat up on this episode.
Oh,
go for it.
Well, I took away that I need to figure out what the profit margin in my industry is, for one. And I should attend industry-specific conferences and events.
Absolutely. That's good takeaway right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, a lot of entrepreneurs are chasing profits. A lot of entrepreneurs are chasing profits that are atypical in your industry. And so a good measure to figure out, okay, I mean, because you can always exceed what the industry standard is, right? I have a restaurant owner right now who I think in her industry, the profit margin is at like 7%, but our goal is to get it to 20%. And I believe last month she did about 15%. So we exceed the goal. You're just using it as a marker. Whereas you don't want to be that restaurant owner where the average profit margin is 7% and you're saying, I want 95% profit. That's probably not realistic in your business model, not that way. So you probably have to figure out a different way to hit that type of metric. So I challenge everybody who's watching this episode, actually do some research and Google your industry and what the profit margin is in your industry.
Yeah.
And also Google what the expenses are for a business like yours, because you may not be investing in something that you should really be investing in. Pay attention to their highest expenses, and you might have I didn't even think to invest in a customer service ticketing software. So when emails come in, I don't miss anything because there's an outstanding ticket that's going to keep reminding me if customer service is a high priority in my business or if I have a lot of customer service issues. So Google those things. Google will give you some valuable information. It's just not the Bible and the Holy Grail for necessarily how you need to be operating, but it does give you a good reference point.
Yeah, good. Well, look, man, this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, the only organization that gathers every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurs. We do cool stuff like get-togethers. Hey, what we were thinking about for the one on the one that's coming up is like after the workshop or whatever, like karaoke and game night. You dope? Yeah, it's up. So yeah. So you probably can't come to it because you're just now watching this, but maybe you can come to the next one. So yes, themorningmeetup.com. Our community will grow to 10,000 people, and then we could just have all conferences with only people in the community. That's like my vision, to where I don't have to go outside of the community for anything.
I love it.
All in the community. So go to themorningmeetup.com. We would love to have you. Right now, there's a $1 trial. I do not foresee it being a $1 trial forever, because I think I want to go with another model. Also, the $79, I think it's going to go up, but everybody that is in will be grandfathered in at whatever they're paying. So we will be changing. What does that say?
What is that?
Watch this movie. What was that? That was strange.
It was a little pop-up on the display.
Yeah. Maybe it
said watch something.
Yeah, watch a movie or something like that. All right, anyway. So yeah, go to themorningmeetup.com. I don't know when you're watching this, but we are providing tremendous value in our community. And I can almost guarantee you're going to absolutely love it, okay? Also, send me a text message. I love to hear from you, hear how who won in this episode. 404-737-4935, 404-737-4935. Johnny Wiggins.
Michelle Williams was the weakest link of Destiny's Child. And
I actually like Michelle.
I love Michelle. Michelle Williams was though arguably, she had the most falls, the most issues. She was arguably the weakest link of Destiny's Child at that time. However, she went on to become a solo artist in a different environment with different levels of training and became one of the top artists in the world in her space, right? So Destiny's Child, though, broke up a few years after she became an integral part of the team. Beyonce was like, I ain't doing this no more. I'm going solo, okay? Because I am only as big as my weakest link. So I'm going to eliminate the weakest link and I'm going to go solo. And she, too, is one of the biggest artists in the world. You're only as strong as your weakest link. This episode is also brought to you by the Donni and David group.
I got so much to say.
No, you said your piece. You said your piece.
So much to say.
Shout out to Michelle Williams. You are super dope. Period. Anyway, this episode is also brought to you by Post to Paid. Post to Paid is the community for entrepreneurs who have a dope vision, a dope business model, but you're struggling to connect with your followers on social media. You don't really know what to post. You don't know how to post engaging content. You don't know how to get the responses. You also don't know how to convert your followers to cash. Post to Paid is a group that sends you 3 post prompts every single day. That's 7 days a week, just except major holidays. 7 days a week, I'm telling you exactly what you should be posting that will entertain, educate, even agitate, but get to the cash for your business. All you have to do to get more information or to join it is text me the words Post to Paid at 404-737-2767. And right now I have a $1 trial. And I only did that $1 trial because David was doing a $1 trial.
Leadership.
So I wanted to do the same thing. But now that David is hinting to the fact that $1 trial is about to expire, guess what? My $1 trial is about to expire too. Okay. So you guys make sure you text me 404-737-2767. Also, we train and develop coaches and consultants. And if you are a coach and consultant looking for development from scratch, or you already have a business model, but it's not getting the results that you wanted to get, you need my 6-figure accelerator program. And you can get more information about that at www.theword6figureedu.com. And remember, don't be the weakest link on your team. Also, be a great leader.
Unbelievable. All right, y'all. Please like, subscribe. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, or not just if you're watching on YouTube. Please go to your app, your Spotify, or your. Should we promote Spotify?
Just go to your app wherever you listen to your podcast. And then also, you guys, many of you don't know, we have a brand new podcast segment called the Brain Picker Podcast. And we are coaching entrepreneurs live on YouTube. And it uploads to every single podcast platform. If you are an entrepreneur who's watching this and you want to get coached by me and David, but you know that we no longer take any kind of one-on-one clients, you need the Brain Picker podcast.
Absolutely.
We will coach you live for an hour about anything you want to talk about in your business. It doesn't matter what kind of experience you have. It doesn't matter what kind of business you have. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. We want to help you get to the next level in your business. And then on top of that, we expose you to thousands, tens of thousands, and depending on your episode, even hundreds of thousands of individuals who are interested in learning more about you and your brand. They're interested in becoming customers right away. And you might even run up on an investor or two. So you can get more information about that new podcast by going to www.brainpickerpodcast.com.
There we have it, man. Listen, go be great. All right, we'll see you next episode. Peace.
I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too.
I can
Okay,
pick
you
my brain.
guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept. You're stuck. You can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
That got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply
right now
to pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.